Hey there, it's Kisma, and welcome to Illumination Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk about saying yes. Welcome to the Illumination Podcast with Nick and Kisma, bringing you ancient wisdom for modern day success so that you can sparkle just a little bit brighter each and every day. If what you hear speaks to your soul, go ahead and give us a rating and a review in iTunes. You can also find us on SoundCloud and Stitcher. And hey, if there's somebody in your life that you think would enjoy this podcast, go ahead and share it with them. And I'm here with Nick Hansinger. Hey, Nick, what's up?
I'm watching a thread unfold in our membership group right now. And it's fascinating to me. Mm-hmm. And as we're doing this, which got me a little distracted. I'm just going to own that right now, and I apologize if I slowed up our
We're real here, people. I'm not going to be like taking numerous cuts to get it perfect. We are real people.
I want to apologize if I took too long.
The burp was rude, but now, it's okay.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah. So what's happening is one of the things that we teach is manifesting in a major way. Mm-hmm. And so we have courses on that and all kinds of stuff. Somebody did one of our courses and they start manifesting, and then opportunities start showing up.
Oh, it's so exciting when this happens. It's so awesome.
So all these opportunities start showing up, but then she starts saying no. So because it's like things that maybe she doesn't like to do or doesn't want to do, right? And when I'm just like, say yes, I know that's not like ideal for you, but just say yes. I'm like all caps, say yes, like green light, go, say yes. And then what's fascinating to me and what really inspired this podcast is that now other people are chiming in and her to say no and to stop it. So I really want to talk about staying in yes so that you can get the energy and the momentum flowing, because you never know what's on the other side of that yes.
Yes, exactly. And so this is really, really important, especially if you love manifesting, if you're like a little manifester at heart, to be open to what you are commanding. If anyone out there has done our courses, we teach commanding the reality, that it's not necessarily going to look like what you think. So this is like expanding, right? The box of potentiality and really opening up your vision for seeing things in a whole different way and not being so attached to it having to be a certain way, because that just constricts your creative field. Like at a subconscious level, it just constricts your creativity.
And okay, so what I see is, yes, that's totally true. And what's mostly happening is people are in a really chaotic state. I think a lot of times without even realizing it.
Yes, for sure.
You're wearing 20 different hats, going in a million different directions. If you have a business and you're like an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, you're going in a million different directions trying to do all these different things, trying to figure out like, who can do what and how can it get done and get into the next thing and on and on and on. But all that time, like that scatters all of this energy.
Right.
Right. So saying
boom, choo, boom,
all over the place. Yeah. So, when you're in that state, you're actually, even though you're moving and doing a lot, you're actually in a state of inertia because things are not flowing in
a single pointed focus way.
Even if it's not single pointed focus,
there's no direction.
Even if it's just flowing in the same direction, kind of. Right. So it's just this chaotic state that's very much like a tornado or a whirlwind.
And what will that do internally to a human?
Well, internally, that will deplete energy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's also going to tap your adrenals. For sure, which is going to affect your thyroid, which is going to affect all kinds of other things.
It makes you look old, too.
Oh, yeah. That'll definitely add years on.
Don't want that.
Look at any president.
And feel tired.
Any president, from when they take office to when they leave office, they age more than those 4 or 8 years. And it's because that requires them to go in so many different directions because there's just so much to do. I think that's part of it, So you're going in all these different directions. You're actually, and it doesn't feel like it because you're like, I'm doing so much and I got all these things going. But you're actually in a state of inertia.
Yeah.
right? So in order to get out of that, you have to, one, set a clear intention.
Very, very clear intention.
Set a clear intention. You have to know where you're going.
Yeah.
And once you do that, and then you're clear in that, you're basically setting a manifestation in motion, whether you're doing that with a formal process or whether you're doing that just purely by thinking, I want to go there, I'm going to go there. You're setting a manifestation in motion. You're basically collapsing reality into a particle state, a focus where you can see, like, that's where I'm going. And when you do that, things will show up.
Yes.
And when those things start to show up, if you have clarity of focus and you don't say yes, you're basically just stopping the flow.
The universe does not like when people say no to their manifestations.
Right. And that's the funny part is, like, you never know what's on the other side of that.
You
yes.
never know how it's going to show up. It's going to look different. It's going to enter your life different. You're going to end up being a different human in terms of how you receive it and integrate with it and respond to it. And it's all super exciting. So let's put this in very simple terms, because we have a little trick. Anybody out there that drives a lot and you're looking for parking spaces, or you go to the mall, you're on a street and you're like, I need a parking space. Well, we have this very specific manifestation to get a parking space. Now, it's going to sound a little weird, but you can try it. My younger sister, Martha, has like this parking juju. Wherever she goes, she'll just be like, parking space. And immediately, like, the car in front of her will just evaporate and she'll pull right in, right? So we're always really happy when she's in the car with us. So when I left Columbus last time I saw her and I came back to California, I'm like, well, I'm just going to do this, right? So we'd be getting ready to park and I'd be like, Martha parking, like single pointed focus. And well, the cars didn't evaporate, but we definitely got really good parking spots.
Remember that time when I drove right by it?
So this is what happened. We're like, Martha parking. And there's Nick's driving. Okay, you know how I feel about his driving. He's driving. There's a parking spot. I'm like, pull on in. He's like, well, I'm going to go around the block or something.
Because that was like half a block away.
Half a block freaking away.
I wanted
parking
something better.
Spot. Dude. So what happened? What happened?
What happened? There was no more spots.
There were no more spots.
We had to drive
around and around and around.
We probably did 3 more times. And we got a spot that was maybe not quite as good. But this is like what, okay, you might be laughing at us now, but just think about it. You deny something you've asked for because either A, you think it could be better, or it doesn't look exactly like what you wanted. That universe, man, is going to be like, dude, sorry, you're just going to have to work a little bit harder to get what you want because it was right in front of you. Yeah. And this is where so many people get stuck, because they get stuck in this waiting cycle of like, oh, it's not what I thought it was going to look like, or, oh, it's not like exactly perfect. Say yes. Say freaking yes.
Well, and the other thing, when you say yes to something that doesn't look like what you wanted, guess what happens? You expand as a human. Your energy expands, your potentiality expands, like you're stepping into your full potential self because you're like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to go. You're using your intellect, it is an amazing opportunity for you to elevate in a way that possibly you never thought was there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And if we're going to put this into kind of a process, I think there's a few fundamental components to it. Mm-hmm. Number one is having a vision.
Have a vision.
Have a vision for your life. You must have a vision for your life. You have to have something in your life that you can say, I'm going there.
Right.
Right. And have that kind of clarity of focus. It doesn't need to be like some grand vision where you're going to change the world and world peace and like.
It could be, I'm going to be a great mother every single day. I'm going to be an awesome husband every day. I'm going to go to work and smile at my boss.
Yeah. I want to love completely.
Or like our vision is, I'm going to serve 100,000 people or more.
Yeah.
But whatever, there's no right, there's no wrong. What's your vision?
Yeah. It's like whatever your vision is, whatever that is, have that, right? If you're here to serve people, and this is a big challenge, I think, with people who get into their soul's work, is they make it about the what. like what you're doing. And at the end of the day, it's really about who you're being.
Who you are being.
And
I love that.
who you're showing up as and,
Yes.
and who you're showing up to serve.
Right.
So when those people are showing up to you, like if you have a calling to do your soul's work, right, and to help other people in this world doing whatever that is for you, like as those people show up, help them.
Yes.
Just help them and do the very best that you can to take them to the next place.
I love it.
Because you never know what's on the other side of that. And so many times people make it around like, well, I do this and I do that and everything. But if those people are showing up for help them.
Yes.
Right? Get them a resource if that's the only thing that you can do. But if you have skills that can serve that person, go serve.
Yes, especially if it's tied into your manifestation. I mean, think about the resiliency that you will build in your field by doing this, by expanding your ability, by not staying small, by not thinking it's got to look a different way. Like build that resiliency, go the distance, like see your manifestation unfold in ways that you possibly never thought could happen.
You absolutely have to build that resiliency. And you have to also really keep yourself in the flow, right? In that flow. When you stop saying yes, you stop the flow.
Stop the flow.
So
it's painful to stop the flow. Nick, share a little bit about
painful.
when you stop the flow, when you stop the momentum, how much more, I don't like to use the word hard, but is it tricky to get going again?
Well, we can leave hard out of it, hard or easy or whatever. But what I can say for certain is that it takes, I don't even have a specific number, but it easily takes 10 times more effort to get the ball rolling again. When you stop, especially if you come to full stop, it's going to take that much effort.
Painful.
At least 10 times and probably more like 100 times more effort to get yourself going.
Yeah.
And when you stay in yes, you build the resiliency of discipline behind it that really keeps you clear, focused, and keep going. Is it going to be perfect right off the bat? Probably not, right?
That's okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
How many
ironically,
times, like what's that story about Steve Jobs? He kind of got fired from his company.
yeah.
That was not perfect in his mind, but what happened? Did he deny the opportunity to go back in and reboot and reignite and repurpose everything? No, he didn't deny it, even though like they kicked him out the first time. He's like, I'm getting back in there, dudes.
Yeah, I'm going to go get my company back.
Right.
And he did. And they do amazing things, right? It's the industry leader and an amazing company. But you have to stay in that to build the resiliency around it.
Right.
And also build the discipline.
Oh, train of truth.
Bam, there's the train of
you
truth.
You guys, right by our office, that little train of truth.
Heading on down the track. And that really is, I mean, that's a train of truth right there.
Yeah.
He's like to stay in, yes, to stay in the flow, to build the resiliency and the discipline.
Love it.
Will it clarify over time? Absolutely. But a lot of times, this is a big miss. One of the biggest things that I see people do is wait for the ultimate clarity to take an action. Like,
you're going to wait a long time, people.
You're going to be waiting forever. Like you need to take just the next action that you can take. So if that opportunity that's showing up for you doesn't look perfect or doesn't look like something that makes sense to your brain, if you're trying to get momentum going, say yes.
Say yes.
Say yes.
I love it.
And then you can get into it.
So share, like, do you remember a time when you said yes and you were like, I freaking don't want to do this?
Well, when I don't want to do it. That's a great question.
Or how about, you shared a little bit before when you started surfing and you thought it was going to look one way and it really looked completely different.
Well, for sure. I mean, I was afraid to start surfing for a lot of different reasons, but I found that it's something I really love to do, I'll give you the best example from my perspective is honestly just listening to you.
Aw.
Because you have a way of seeing things and going places that my brain would never comprehend.
It scares him sometimes.
It does. And that's an honest share. Like, it really does. It is frightening to me sometimes where you're like, we're doing this, we're going here. And I'm like, okay. But I've just seen the results enough times to be like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's like on for the ride. We filled our, we talked a little bit about our Illumination Academy, this vision of having an online course for everyone in every possible way. And it's building, it's amazing. And we launched our Illumination Mastermind. And I have to hand it to you because this was during our Maui intensive. And I just got up, it was last day. I'm like, here we go. We know what our mastermind is. It's called Illumination.
Yeah. And we're going to launch this and we're going to sell it today.
Yeah.
And we're going to launch this and you're going to sell it today.
Nick, talk to them about this.
And I was like, okay. But I'm laughing. It's so funny to me. But at the end of the day, like I've been around you enough and I've learned to trust in your, I've kind of like learned to have faith in your faith that you're like, this is the right thing to do. This is what we need to do. Let's go. And I can step into that and just be like, okay, even when I can't see it, because I don't always see it that way, and I think we play that role with each other, but at the end of the, really like you've taught me a lot about faith that way.
Poor guy.
So if you want to know, it does.
We filled our mastermind, 10, 11 awesome people.
Yeah, all in.
Just like that, because it was like, that was it. That was the manifestation, and set it out there, brought it in. And so that's what happens when you practice saying yes.
Yeah, there were literally thousands of dollars worth of revenue in that we really didn't see before we said yes.
And also just serving people so that they can go and serve the planet and their people in a different way.
Well, ultimately, that's really what it's all about. And where that came from, if I could venture, is to say like, oh, this is what, there's folks that showed up that really had visions and needed help.
Right.
And they're there and our job is to help them.
Right.
And so it really came from that attitude of service that was like, okay, well, what would serve this group the best? And that was it. So when people are showing up like that, it's like, just help them.
Yes.
Just help them.
Go and serve. And this is way different. I mean, you'll hear us teach about other things. If you have a business, if you have clients, if you're a coach, you're not going to be just serving for free the rest of your life. But if you have set a desire in motion, if you have, this intention of commanding your reality and something is in front of you and it might not be exactly what you thought it was going to be, step in. Like really step in, embrace that opportunity, because I guarantee on the other side, man, there's going to be that sparkle and that shine and that just awesomeness for you.
Yeah, you never know what's on the other side of that.
Never
yes.
know.
And I really appreciate you for clarifying that, because honestly, this teaching is not for everybody all the time.
Oh, that's good.
If you're in a space where you're feeling scattered, where you're not feeling the momentum and the flow and the direction of your life or your business, you need to step into a yes type of space.
Right.
Like just say yes.
Yeah.
Right. If you're cruising along and you know exactly what you're here to do and exactly who you're here to serve and all that, then the no's become really, really obvious.
Yeah. Really
right?
clear.
And that's okay. But if you don't have that and you're in that state of inertia, which probably doesn't even feel like it because you're scattered in so many different directions, you need to get into a yes state. You need to set a really clear vision for where you want to go, and then just start saying yes.
I love it. And just to add a little something on that, if you're that person that's really focused, really designed, you know where you're going, the no's are easy. They're just like, oh, not for me. Like you just check in with your higher self. Yep, not for me, for someone else.
Yeah, totally. So thanks. I really appreciate you saying that, because that's an important thing to understand is like, if you really have a lot of momentum and you start saying yes to everything, like you could really spin yourself out.
Right.
But if you don't have that, you don't have the revenue, you don't have the momentum, you don't have the direction that you're looking for, just set a vision and say yes.
Oh,
and then just start saying yes. It really is that simple. If you need a little help with that, one of the tools that we've found to be really, really beneficial is a meditation process. I have a training out there that you can go check out. It's at sourcemovement.com/meditation.
It's actually meditate.
Oh, excuse me. sourcemovement.com/meditate. Sourcemovement.com/meditate. My apologies. So what's there is a training video that teaches you some fundamentals for meditation. And then also, if you want to use my exact meditation process, you can check that out there too.
Yeah.
So it's all right there for you, sourcemovement.com/meditate.
For those of you that have not yet watched that video, you might be surprised. Like, we do not talk about meditation like most everyone in the world does, at least in this country does. There's a way to meditate that actually makes things more difficult, that actually makes your energy, your thought flow even more chaotic, that makes it impossible for you to say yes because you're just stuffing stuff down. And there's a way to meditate that really allows you to step into your highest and best, your full potential self. And that's a really cool way to meditate.
Yeah, that meditation process is awesome for really cultivating your vision.
Your vision, clarity, leadership.
Yeah,
all those
really,
things.
really, really
sourcemovement.com/meditate. Awesome. Any parting words, Mr. Nick?
Get clear in your vision. Say yes.
Get clear in your vision. Say yes. Let us know how that's working for you, by the way. You can always email us at info@sourcemovement.com. And we love you, and we'll see you really soon.
Namaste.
Namaste.